She thought saying no was the end of it. It wasn't, because less than 24 hours after rejecting his proposal, she was lying in a ditch, cold, still, gone, and the man who swore he loved her was the last person to see her alive. Her name was Samantha Blake, 27 years old, bright, ambitious, with a laugh that could light up a room. She worked as a nurse, loved hiking, and had been dating Ryan Cole for 2 years. Friends thought they were perfect, but behind closed doors, things weren't so perfect. Ryan was controlling, jealous, the kind of man who needed to know where she was every second of the day. Still, Samantha stayed until the night of March 17th. They were at an upscale restaurant. Candlelight, wine, a perfect setup for romance. Then Ryan pulled out a small velvet box, dropped to one knee, and asked her to marry him. The room fell silent, but Samantha's eyes filled not with joy, with fear. She whispered, "Ryan, I can't." Witnesses say Ryan froze. His smile vanished. His hand trembled as he closed the box. The rest of dinner was silent. No goodbye kiss. No, I'll see you tomorrow. Just a cold stare, like she had just ruined his life. Later that night, Samantha texted her best friend, "I think I made a mistake saying no, not because I want him, but because I'm scared of what he'll do." That text would be her last message. The next morning, Samantha skipped her usual coffee run. She didn't show up for her shift at the hospital. No calls. No texts. Her phone pinged one last time at 8:12 a.m. Location: a rural road just outside town. By 6 p.m., a jogger spotted something in a ditch. It was her, face down, her coat half off, hair tangled with dirt and leaves. A deep bruise on her temple. Dead. When police knocked on Ryan's door, he answered wearing the same jacket from the night before. He told them, "Yes, I saw her that morning. She wanted to talk. I dropped her off near her place. That's it." But detectives noticed something. A scratch on his neck. Fresh, red. And when they asked about it, he said, "Must have been for my cat." Except, Ryan didn't own a cat. They checked Samantha's phone. Her last call, Ryan, 8 minutes long, at 8:04 a.m. Then silence. Security cameras on the rural road showed a black SUV at 8:10. Ryan drove a black SUV. And the kicker? When they pulled GPS data from his car, it matched her final location. But here's where it gets stranger. The coroner's report revealed something shocking. Samantha wasn't just hit on the head. She had water in her lungs. Meaning, she was alive when she went into the ditch. And someone left her there to drown. Police confronted Ryan. He denied everything, but his story kept changing. First, he said they didn't meet that morning. Then he said they did, but only argued. Ryan thought he was in control, thought this was a story to spin. But police had one more card to play. A witness, a farmer. He claimed he saw Ryan's SUV parked by the ditch around 8:15 that morning, and in the passenger seat, a woman matching Samantha's description. She wasn't moving. Ryan was brought in for questioning again, but before police could break him, his lawyer walked in, and Ryan stopped talking. Detectives were certain he was a killer, but without a confession, they needed one final piece of evidence. Then 2 days later, a fisherman miles downstream made a discovery. A small velvet ring box with something inside. Not a ring, not jewelry, but a tiny folded piece of paper with 6 words written in Samantha's handwriting. "If I disappear, it was Ryan." Those 6 words, written in Samantha's own handwriting, were now in the hands of police. And suddenly, this wasn't just a murder case. This was proof that Samantha saw it coming. Detectives immediately sent the paper for forensic testing. Every fiber, every pen stroke, every drop of water, examined. It was a match. The ink, the handwriting, even the faint fingerprint smudges, all belonged to Samantha Blake. But there was more. The note wasn't written on plain paper. It was torn from the back page of a small notebook, the kind nurses often keep in their scrubs pocket. That notebook was missing from her apartment. And suddenly, investigators knew this wasn't just paranoia. Samantha had been documenting her fear. Police got a warrant for Ryan's apartment. Inside, they found Samantha's missing work notebook, page after page, full of entries. Every argument, every threat, every time Ryan followed her to work or showed up unexpectedly. And then, the final page before the missing piece. "If anything happens to me, look at Ryan first." It was like Samantha had left her own murder investigation ready for police to follow. Armed with a note in the notebook, detectives brought Ryan back in. At first, he smirked, said it was ridiculous, that Samantha was dramatic. But when they slid the waterlogged ring box across the table, he froze. Then, they dropped the notebook in front of him, and for the first time, his composure cracked. His lawyer immediately ended the interview. But by now, police had more than enough to move forward. Ryan claimed he'd been home the entire morning of Samantha's disappearance, except for dropping her off. But cell tower data told a different story. Between 8:05 and 8:18 a.m., his phone pinged off towers along the same rural road where Samantha's body was found, and there was a gap, no ping for 12 minutes. Detectives knew what that meant. The phone had been turned off or thrown into airplane mode, a classic move for someone trying to hide their location. When his phone reconnected, the first signal placed him heading back toward his apartment. It wasn't just rejection, it was control. Friends told police that after the proposal, Ryan texted Samantha nonstop, begging, threatening, then silence. One message, sent at 7:42 a.m. the next day, read, "You'll regret this." The coroner's office ran a second analysis on Samantha's clothes. In the fibers of her coat, tiny particles of dark carpet fuzz. Not dirt, not grass. When investigators compared them to the floor mats in Ryan's SUV, it was an exact match. That meant Samantha had been in his car after the night of the proposal. And yet, Ryan swore he hadn't seen her. The evidence said otherwise. Then came the biggest shock of all. A neighbor in Ryan's apartment complex came forward. She told detectives that on the morning Samantha vanished, she saw Ryan in the parking lot, carrying something over his shoulder. A woman, wrapped in a beige coat. At the time, she thought it was a drunk girlfriend. Now, she wasn't so sure. Police knew they had enough for an arrest, but they wanted a slam dunk. So they set up a control phone call between one of Samantha's friends and Ryan. The friend said, "They found the note, Ryan. They know." There was silence. Then Ryan said, almost whispering, that note was never supposed to be found. And just like that, the trap was sprung. March 26, police surrounded Ryan's apartment. He was taken into custody without incident. Inside his SUV, they found strands of Samantha's hair in the trunk lining. DNA confirmed the match. Every lie, every cover-up was unraveling. In court, prosecutors painted the picture. A man humiliated by rejection. A man who couldn't let go. And a man who chose to make sure if she wouldn't be his, she'd be no one's. The note, the GPS data, the fibers, the witness testimony. It all came together. Ryan's defense argued reasonable doubt. But Samantha's own words from beyond the grave sealed the verdict. The jury deliberated for just 5 hours. Guilty, first-degree murder. Ryan Cole was sentenced to life without parole. In the courtroom, Samantha's best friend clutched that water-stained note. She later said, "It was like she was still speaking to us, making sure he wouldn't get away with it." Samantha Blake's story isn't just about a tragic death. It's about a woman who saw the danger coming and left behind the truth that would take her killer down. Because even after she was gone, her voice was louder than his lies.